Okay, cool.
Hey, I'm Melanie. I'm here with Lil Tytan. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Nice to meet you. I'm Little Titan. I'm an artist from Las Vegas, Nevada. I make trap metal and a whole bunch of other genres.
All right. So, what can you tell me about your journey with creating music? If it was something you always wanted to do, and what your creative process is like?
I knew I always wanted to do music from early on in like high school, so probably around like 11th grade.
Okay.
Um, but I knew early on before that I wanted to start like doing something in music because my dad was in the music industry, so I definitely wanted to take in his footsteps. Um, what was the second part of the question?
Um, what is your creative process like?
My creative process is usually depending on the producer or artist. They'll either send me a beat and I'll write to it, or I have a bar or something written down in my phone and then I'll like expand on that. That's usually my creative process.
Okay. So about your dad, what kind of music did he do?
He did stuff with different rock bands and even metal bands. He was a sound engineer for 25 years. So when you're at a show and you see the little booth in like the back with like all the monitors and stuff, that's
Hmm.
what he used to do. He used to also be on MTV's show TRL, but like the old version, not the new version, because it got shut down, and then there was a petition to bring it back, and then he wasn't on the new version. He was on the old version.
Okay.
So before that petition, my dad was on it.
A musical family.
Yeah.
Who are your musical influences?
My musical influences will probably be Lil Wayne. I would say XXX Tentacion. And just my homies that make music too. Like
Okay.
those really impact me a lot.
Okay. What have you been listening to lately?
I've been listening to a lot of Kamara, Istasha the Scrub, Witch House 40K, Sinister, Scythe Gang, um, Logan, of course. Low, as I should say. And just my other homies too that are in the scene. I listen to them too. Outsider X, Oni Inc. Um, yeah, just basically like people I either really want to work with or people I already work with. Kind of
Okay.
what I'm listening to.
So people of the internet, this is actually round two. We did not get it right the first time, so here we are again. I did actually skip a question the first time. So we're going to go back to that. Do you have a song that you've done that means the most to you?
My song again. It's on my album Rituals.
Mhm.
It was a really deep song. I rarely make like love songs or like sad songs. Like, I mean, I like making them, but there was a period of time where I like used to make them. I kind of don't really make them much anymore. But I on my album I made a song called Again, and it was over like a boom bap type of beat, which I normally don't make boom bap. So shout out to Morgoth Beats for making me expand my horizons. Because he tried to sell me that beat at least like 4 times. And the fourth time I was like, all right, fine, I cave. And I caved, I bought it, and I made one of the deepest songs I think I've ever made. So
He knew.
yeah, he knew. He definitely knew. Always good to have like a good producer to artist relationship. So
Yeah.
he knows me really well when it comes to beats.
So you've been collaborating with a number of metal vocalists and guitarists. What is your favorite thing about collaborating with other artists?
Uh, just how like sometimes how creative the collaboration can be.
Hmm.
I like to expand my horizons as much as I can. Sometimes things are really impossible for me. Sometimes things are really possible. Um, but I try not to box myself in. And honestly, it's just really cool because some of these dudes are like really, really into, rap and all that. And so, like, working with a metal vocalist, I wanted to, like, any metal. Any metal vocalist I wanted to like work with, it like really helped because it helped authenticate my sound, and I feel like authenticity really matters when it comes to that sort of stuff. So that really helped.
Okay. And who would your dream collaboration be?
Recently I've listened to a lot of Kamara, so I would definitely like to work with Kamara. Corpse, Istasha the Scrub, Grim Salvo, Witch House 40K. Uh, yeah, I have a lot of people in the scene that I keep my eyes on that I want to work with. So yeah,
Mhm.
but I think I've already gotten some of my dream collabs already, so it's already really cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you have coming up collaboration wise?
Uh, I have multiple different production kind of collabs. I would say I'm recording stuff over some bigger producers' beats. Some of them are artists too. I have a collab on the way with Omen 13. He produced a beat for me, so laying down some vocals for that. It's gonna be a really deep song. I'm stoked for that. I got a song on the way with Istasha the Scrub. He's producing it, not featuring on it or anything. Same with Omen. But Istasha is producing a beat for me. I'm really excited for that. Um, I have a song produced by Matty Beats. He's an artist. He's a producer from LA. It's really dope. I kept my eyes on him for a minute. He produced two songs for two different artists that I know. He produced Blood Drunk by Outsider X, and then he produced a song for Oni Inc. and Sadzilla, which I really like. So I'm definitely excited for my and his collab.
Okay. So one artist that you've collaborated with quite a few times is a mutual friend of ours, Logan
Yes.
Abdo. He goes by Lo. How
Mm-hmm.
did you meet?
Me and him met through the internet, honestly. He just hit me up because I bought a beat from a producer named Kenny Graves, who produced Apocalypse by Scarlord with Bryan Spencer. So I bought a beat from Kenny Graves, and Logan had hit me up about it. I guess he was like, he had already heard some of my other stuff, but he was like, "Hey man, I really like your stuff. Would like to do a song, but I noticed you bought the beat from Kenny. Can I please be on whatever you make?" And I was like, "Absolutely. You know, lay down the dopest verse, and I got you." And he did.
All right. And you have plans to work with him in the future?
Absolutely. That's not even a question. Because of course I've got so much stuff with him. We've made so much stuff since like 2020. I want to say we have like too much.
No, no
No,
such thing.
there's no such thing as too much, but the fact of like when me and him make a song, it's just like we just get so much stuff done. It's always cool.
You just need to come up with a name and just do a whole album.
Oh my god.
Lil Tytan.
I've talked about a tape with him. I've talked about a tape with him before. Um, one day that'll be a thing.
Yeah. What have your experiences been like with being part of the underground trap metal scene?
It's been cool, honestly. I've got to work with a lot of people that I've wanted to work with. Got to film videos with people I've wanted to film. You know, wanted to get music videos done by. I've basically gotten to just do like what I wanted to do, and that's always really dope. So yeah, that's what I would say. So it's been a good experience. You know, you definitely gonna catch dramatic stuff. You know, people can be drama, but you know, it's overall it's fun. I think it's really cool. I've been given a lot of good advice, and I just have some really genuine people backing me up. So it's cool.
Yeah. You are affiliated with Lil Xan. What do you
Yes.
share about him?
He is a really genuine person, honestly. I started working with his producers probably about like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And then I ended up meeting Xan in 2020, and he was just overall a really genuine dude. Really appreciate him. It's always been love on this end every single time, like I get to hang out with him and stuff. He's just really dope. And having Xanarchy affiliated with my name is just always cool. So
Mhm.
really appreciate them. Really appreciate him. So yeah.
What have your experiences with fans been like?
Oh, really cool. Sometimes people will be like, "Yo, I'm listening to this song." If like listening to your song, you know, and they'll name said song, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I love that song! Like super dope." Made it when I was like this or whatever, and so it's just always been fun. Like I like that like people are genuinely listening to my music and just like telling me their experience and stuff. or it'll be really crazy when I like FaceTime someone and then they're playing my song in the background. I'm like, what song is that? They're like, oh yeah, it's your song, this. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Um, I also like, you know, some people who are also like fans also are like friends of mine too. So it's like some of them I've incorporated on my songs too. Like, you know, I've had vocal samples and stuff done by people. So that's always cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just really, it's just like overall just a really cool thing when a fan tells you like, oh my God, you're like, I'm listening to music, I love it. Or, hey man, you make really dope stuff. Like, we should collab or whatever. It's just always cool.
Yeah. What's been the biggest highlight of your career to you, or the most meaningful?
So many, so many to name. I think just doing shows, those have always been like really like big highlights. Just because I get to like really kind of like talk to people. It's really cool when you get to go on stage and then you get off of it and then everybody's like, yeah, man, that was dope. And I'm like, thanks, man. Like,
Yeah.
glad you like it. Um, Getting to work with people I wanted to work with, you know, because I always have a spur of the moment, and this is like a big thing. Like I feel like I collect collabs because one time my homie Sinister said he's like, man, Lil Titan be stockpiling them features I've done for him and stuff, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, yeah, I really do because it's like a spur of the moment. Like I really want to work with somebody, you know, and then I try to get as many songs in because you know I just like having that as a part of my catalog. I like being affiliated with people and like you know being a part of that. Like just really working with who I want to work with. So it's always fun, you know. That's like really cool for me. Having my own merch now is like a really dope experience because I did not have that before. That's been dope. And being featured in a magazine like recently is a really dope highlight.
I also feel like features, collaborations, um, pulls out a creative part of you that maybe you didn't even know you had sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because it's wild to me because I feel like that more with producers than I feel with rappers. The only time that I ever feel uh different when it comes to features is usually working with like girl artists because girl artists have like specific styles and stuff. Like if like let's say you find a girl and she does like funk, it's really cool because you're like kind of like going to like what she likes to create, you know, so that always brings out. And it's also like um their voices are sometimes on different frequencies than like a male voice. So it's like it's really cool to like, you know, kind of blend the two, you know, and like
Mhm.
overall I feel like that's really dope. But for me, producers, because producers have all sorts of different styles, so it's like I don't really just go to one producer and be like, oh yeah, you like I want this or that. Like sometimes I have producers that can make multi stuff. Some producers I go for like a specific thing. Like if I'm looking for a specific type of thing, I go to said producer.
Mhm. What is the best advice that you've been given about the music industry? And then also, if someone were to ask you if an aspiring artist wanted advice, what would you give them?
I would say the best advice I've been given is like obviously, you know, you're gonna make friends in this and stuff, but not everybody is your friend, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of snakes and stuff, and like the fact of like, you know, that was a good piece of advice that's been told to me. Um, I think everything that just like about Spotify and stuff, because I work with a lot of people, you know, who've gotten to Spotify editorials and stuff, and like people have taught me how to like really, you know, get far on Spotify. So that's like really helped me a lot. Um, and I say just, you know, people have taught me like how to build a solid foundation. I think I learned that on my own, but like people have given me good advice about that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's been really cool. And if I were to give an artist advice, drop as frequently as you freaking can. Invest in yourself and build a solid foundation, and don't let yourself be sucked into drama. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
Let me see. What would you say is next for you? Next song or
My next song is Infections, produced by Australian producer Penta.
Mhm.
Uh, Really dope song. It's kind of like industrial rap. That's kind of where I want to take Lil Titan into that like sort of direction of like industrial sort of trap metal. Because everybody does trap metal, everybody does funk, all that sort of stuff, and I don't mind doing those genres, and of course I'm still gonna do them, but I definitely want to do like industrial type of stuff. I don't know what it is, just like industrial sounding stuff just sounds really dope to me, and I want to do that sort of stuff. And I want to do stuff that's like really catchy and easy to listen to. I try to create easy to listen to music. That's like my biggest thing when making any song. So it has to be easy on the ear. Like if it's not, if you do too much, it can kind of take away from it, you know?
Mhm.
Another thing that's next for me is I have a show in LA, February 4th. I'm excited about. It's going to
Okay.
be sick.
Where's that
I
at?
have more shows coming out. Huh?
Where's the show at?
It's in Koreatown. I think it's gonna be at a bar. I don't have the exact details as of right now, but they will be posted on social media soon. So
Okay.
my LA peeps can pull up.
Awesome. And lastly, what closing messages would you have for your fans?
Honestly, anything is possible as long as you put your mind to it. And if you're an artist, build a solid foundation for yourself. Don't get sucked into drama. Just keep going in life. I feel like as long as you focus on yourself, that's like what really matters.
Yep. All right. Thank you for your time.
Of course.
Wait to hear what's next.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
January 6th?
Yeah.
All
January
right.
6th, Infections.
Great. Thank you.
No problem.
Yes.